Hey, I'm Mikey Brennan. I'm here with B-Side Recordings at Silent Hill Studios and shooting the official music video for my recent single, She's My Girl, which is going to consist of a full-on band performance, and I can't wait to see what it's going to turn out like.
Well, Alfie's here now, guys, and we can start with the shooting shortly. I don't even know. I really don't even know anymore.
Hey, I'm Mikey Brennan. I wrote this song, I performed this song, and I pretty much did everything on my own, and no one else needs any thanks for it. No, I'm kidding.
So I'd say coming into this project with the inspirations at hand and having it, what would you say would be kind of like, in particular, artists that would be like stand out, the main inspiration behind this track, would you say?
Well, I've always loved the 60s and the 50s. I've always been passionate about rock and roll, and you know, not just for its music, but also for its impact. And I've always been a massive fan of bands like the Beatles and the Stones, and you know, the Kinks, the Who, the Beach Boys, the Monkees, all the great 60s acts. And you know, I always wanted to kind of like write a kind of like pop and rock and roll song in vein of that. I just didn't believe I could do it. I mean, I did on my last album. I did some kind of like 60s inspired songs. I did In Our House, which was another video me and Aaron did together that had some 60s influence in there, kind of similar. But with this one, it was to kind of really find a more modern take on that, something that would be a bit more something that would do rock and roll justice, but also stand up there within, you know, potentially mainstream, to, you know, appeal to listeners today. Because I've always been a massive fan of like loads of eras of music, and I just like to not necessarily replicate that, but try and bring that back into today's music. I've always thought that, you know, sometimes if you want to create something different, something that's something different to what's on the radio today, which is not necessarily boring, not necessarily not boring, but something a bit more unique. The way forward is sometimes to, rather than focus on what's happening at the time, is to kind of really go back and bring and refer to the old influences rather than what's going on, and you know, just trying to like blend those older styles with them. I think when you do that, that's when people say you're the greatest singer-songwriter of all time. That's why people have been up Ed Sheeran and Bruno Mars's arse for the last 10 years now.
We are all set with the drums.
Hi there, I'm Alfie. I was playing guitar for Mikey Brennan on the single She's My Girl. So Mikey came to me with some instructions on what it was he wanted the song solo to be. We wanted to infuse some 60s pop elements with a slightly more modern feel, and obviously being the fact that the solo is a little bit longer than what traditionally a solo would be for like a 60s pop song. It kind of added some nice elements and a nice melody which carries over for longer than the normal pop song. Every time I can't hear the solo, I didn't even bring a boost.
How do you think that went?
Turn yourself up a bit more.
Get it, man. We're getting there.
We are getting there, yeah.
We're getting there.
Hi, I'm Brian Leslie, and I played bass guitar in the music video for Mikey Brennan's She's My Girl. I was very pleased that I was given the opportunity to be in this video, because I always had a dream of being in a 60s style pop band performing to a load of screaming girls. So, you know, despite the fact that I wasn't the original bass guitarist, the fact that I could show myself in that kind of light that I've thought about since I was 14, 15 years old. Really, really satisfied me.
Well, I think we're done with a couple takes. We just need to do a couple more. Guys, what have you thought so far on the recording?
I'm hot. We're really hot. Yeah. I'm hot.
One word answers, very hot.
Yeah, anything else besides how it's going?
We're not halfway through.
Yeah. Hey, my name's Aaron Tatham and I'm the drummer for She's My Girl and also the producer. So I'll say for me, with Mikey, he introduced me to a lot of the inspirations behind it. So, for example, the Beatles, and I kind of look at them, particularly people like Ringo Starr, on how he does his drumming, which is very tight and precise. There's nothing crazy, only very minimal fills, and it's very to the pocket, very in sync with the rest of the band. So I just kind of had that mentality in mind of just keeping it very simple and basic, with putting my own little flair in there, but it's nothing too drastic. In terms of production, again, I wanted to implement the wall of sound technique because I had studied up on it beforehand. I was quite fascinated about it, to implement it within this track, and I thought it fitted really, really well with the aesthetic.
I've pressed record on this one.
You've done it?
Yeah, I may need a hand down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Cool. And if you get that one on as well, because I haven't put that on yet. Yeah, cool.
Yep, good
We all good? Ready?
3, 2, 1, action.
We're making some pretty staggering progress so far. Getting these couple more done.
I think we're getting into it. We're starting to
Yeah, blink twice if you need help.
I can't even blink the second time.
I approached Aaron first of all because Aaron was a producer and a drummer, so he had both those roles covered for me. I sent him I sent him a whole bunch of songs, including this one, which is the rest of which are for the album working on. And I emailed him, went in depth about what I wanted for each song, and with this song I gave him songs like all the different great 60s songs, maybe some 70s ones there as well, and just told him what I wanted in terms of drumming. And in Alfie was Aaron and me worked with Alfie for a performance module before the pandemic, and Alfie was a really professional and reliable musician. He I'd give him one of my own original songs, and the next day he'd come back with it transcribed. I can't read music, but it was impressive to see. But yeah, we really started to bond with Alfie through working with him at college. So when at uni, and so when lockdown happened, me and Aaron just started to plan some ideas for the song, and then we thought, because we had before the pandemic, we actually had a demo of the song, but it didn't have but the instrumental break just felt so empty. We needed something because something that was just a mere 4-chord progression isn't exactly something that can always keep listeners engaged. You need something to kind of brighten that up. So we contacted Alfie to see if he'd be interested in doing a solo. I didn't really know what type of solo I wanted, but I just said do something something like George Harrison would do. But I was really impressed with the solo in the end. It had this kind of like surf rock vibe. It was almost like something the Beach Boys would write. So yeah, I was very, very impressed with that. And Dan, who played bass on the song, who unfortunately couldn't make the music video, he was kind of similar as well. We performed with him in a few modules, and there's very few bass players. There's not many bass players in our year, so we approached him, and we approached a few actually, and some of them couldn't do it. But Dan said he'd be willing to do it. But then when it came to finding someone to step in for the music video, it was just me and Brian had been working on some material. He'd been playing on some of the songs from the album, and he you know, he could play keys, he could play guitar, he could play bass, he could play pretty much all these great instruments that I couldn't play. So I thought like, yeah, he could step in, and I really liked what he brought to the music video. He didn't just maintain stylistically appropriate, but he added a bit more of his own persona in there as well, and I was really proud of that. And as for Aaron, I was pretty much stuck with him. I didn't really have much of a choice.
Sorry.
I want hair like
No, sorry, I got confused. We've got lots and lots and lots of Mikey. Yes, Aaron, the heat is getting to my brain.
It's getting to my face.
Yeah, ready for your close up?
Let's do it. I am more than ready. You're just going to
Close
see
up
the
on everyone else as
sweat.
well. What are you going to do? You sometimes wander this way. For this page, just
Stay here.
behind Mikey. Yeah. Stand behind him.
Stay behind him.
Hang on, let me give you
Can I
a
do like a
reference.
Morecambe and Wise type thing and just peep up from behind Mikey now and again?
Yeah, so if you stay,
Comic relief,
if you
please
stay
do
this
that.
side of the amp.
So sticking with the instruction that Mikey gave me, my first thoughts were to incorporate a strong melody throughout the solo. As we're working with a pop song, it's really important for a catchy melody to be prolonged throughout a solo, and we just needed to make sure that Mikey and Aaron were happy with what I produced. So I did a number of different solos for them to choose, and we narrowed it down to that one.
God, what a nutcase. She's nuts.
I started to play bass at the age of 15, I think it was, and that was I was sort of listening to a lot of the stuff that inspired this particular song, She's My Girl. So it would have been all the, you know, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, the Hollies type thing. But around the age of 17, I sort of developed my style into a slightly heavier, more complex style. But I managed to tone down the way I was playing along to the music video, so I wasn't thundering out some thrash metal type bass line. You know, I kept it simple, but I added a few variations as well, so it wasn't all modern or all old school or whatever. It was just a blend of everything that I've been inspired by in the past.
Sorting out the camera angle.
Can you just play a bit for me so I can see how your head is doing?
Sure.
Strange, I know.
I think at the end it needs to have a...
She's my girl. She's my girl.
Let's go.
How did you maintain the line within production between modern and traditional? How did you meet that?
Honestly, with a great degree of difficulty at first, but I think it was a matter of adjusting, considering majority of what I do is very modern prior. So coming onto this project, and particularly this song, was a whole new step for me, and it kind of allowed me to try something different for a change, as opposed to kind of what I regularly do, which is make everything just very bass heavy. But I mean, I kind of wanted to incorporate everything and make it feel very balanced overall. So, so just to kind of blend it again, it's a case of taking aboard the inspirations that I have for these tracks, in particular stuff that I may listen to, and taking elements from that with elements from Wall of Sound and just fusing it together.
Yeah, ready when you are.
Okay, so.
You don't really need us a shot. I just...
Well, no, you can just do
Just
do what you
stay
like.
there.
Love.
Do you?
Right, yeah. I may like go like that, so don't bother. Okay, so.
Action.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, can you? Let's just save it until we're actually performing. Jesus Christ.
Let me see that.
Well, I kind of really this was actually a song I kind of really started with as a draft, and then just I realised I wanted to you know, like I said, I wanted to write a song in vein of the Beatles or the Stones, and I was like, I'm going absolutely nowhere with this. I'm Cloud Chase, some of the greatest songs I've ever written. I'm not going to get anywhere with this, so I put it to one side and then came back to it later. But for me, it was just trying to, like, you know, blend in with those kind of like old lyrical themes. But for me, the song is what the song is. I don't really like to kind of really tell people what a song is about, because I feel like as listeners, that's for them to. It's how they perceive it, not how I perceive it. But for me, the song is more than just a soppy typical love song. It represents like it represents the spirit and passion of rock and roll, and you know everything about that, and just like, you know, represents like, you know, the joyful and optimistic feeling of being young and being in love.
It's in your head. Ready? Cool. Right, here we go.
Okay.
3. Oh, sorry. What were you saying? Were you saying something? Or?
I was just saying that cough was a smoker's cough, not a COVID cough.
Excellent. Right. Thanks for that. Thank you. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Action.
The music video itself was a really fun experience. Worked with some really great videographers, some great musicians, and the whole experience was really fun. Really enjoyed it. Mikey and Aaron were really helpful with me and making sure that everything was all organised well. So the whole experience was really great.
Got the 2 camera girls doing an amazing job, especially you. Come on, bigger. Oh, I know, honestly, it's baking. Trying to get the shoes on.
For some reason, Mikey is giving me all the credit for coming up with the idea, which I suppose when I first heard it, I did actually think this sounds like something that Herman's Hermits would play on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964. So, you know, Mikey seemed to take that on board and say, actually, that's not too bad of an idea. So, you know, I'm glad I was part of it, because, well, according to him, it's my idea. So, yeah, and it was fun working on the project as well.
Could you see yourself working in any more projects with Mikey?
Considering I've already been recording for many of his songs for the upcoming album, I think I'd definitely work with him again, because it's sort of a blend of all my music tastes in one. You know, you got a bit of 60s, bit of funk, bit of metal, bit of punk, all that sort of thing, all come together in one. So I would be delighted to work with Mikey again.
And you don't really have a choice because you're living with me next year.
Yes, that's the disappointing
It's
thing.
You feeling? I absolutely wiped out, bless you.
He's sad because someone else is using his guitar.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it won't be for too long.
That's it.
Just treat him with care, mate. That's all.
Do you think we can expect much more music videos like this in future, particularly for the songs from the album?
Honestly, I'd say it's been a step up from the other ones. I mean, before it was quite very, what's the way I put it? It's not very kind of DIY, but we also did want to, you know, do as much as we can to make it look as professional. I feel like this one in particular being a proper, fully fledged performance, well, live performance music video, which I wanted to do one for a good while. Honestly, I love it. I'm looking forward to doing more similar to this, or at least that has elements of this incorporated in later music videos. So I'm definitely excited for more to come. In terms of when others going to come, I can't say any more, unfortunately, but there's definitely going to be some stuff coming up which I'm really excited for. So. Make a pop up mode.
Well, we kind of with the video itself, I wasn't really kind of sure what to do for it, but I really like the idea of like a typical like band performance in black and white. You know, just it's like something like back in the day, and I think it really fits in with the theme of the video. It was actually somewhat Brian's idea in a way. I played him the song and he was like, this sounds like a song that should be on the Ed Sullivan Show, and with that in mind I was like, sure, we'll do something like that, and that's pretty much how it came about. And I don't really I do love making music videos. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I see the good and bad points in them, because I feel like because one thing I don't like about music videos is they interpret the song, and that's not really something I like to do, and I don't like putting this image in front of listeners. They should be trying to, like, they should be interpreting it in their own way. But it's always good to, like, breathe life into a new song. And with this album that me and Aaron have been working on, there's a whole bunch of, like, retro songs. There's all kinds of older eras we've been implementing. So now we may be doing, like, this kind of like Ed Sullivan type video. Next thing you know, we might be doing Top of the Pops, maybe even a parody of Live Aid. That seems quite expensive, but you never know. Sky's the limit if you put your mind to it. Right, I'm gonna dish my stand now. Was it hard to focus on both the drumming role and the producer role with this song?
Kind of, but I feel like it was quite easy compared to other tracks. Again, stylistically, I felt the drumming aspect was just quite easy. It's more the production side I tried to really adjust for. But other than that, it wasn't really so bad. Just, again, fusing both elements I've mentioned before. So having that on board, going ahead and making tracks that are quite similar to what I've done, like that in the future, will be a lot more simpler for me.
You don't mind saying a few things to the
Yeah, as long as you give me some questions or something.
Yeah, I think we'll probably
I think we'll just ask each other which is our inspiration and then
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I definitely work with Mikey and Aaron again, in terms of video shoots and things like that. Really good guys, really fun, easy to get along with, and when it's time to work, it's time to work, and we just get on with it and get things done. So thank you very much, guys, and work with you again soon.
And people say we're monkeying around, but we're too busy singing to put anybody down.
I'm out.
Speaking of the concept of the music video, were there any particular music videos that would inspire this one?
I think it was just all the great videos from back in the day, like all the great Ed Sullivan show performances, and just the all the great Beatles videos, all the great Who videos, Stones, all just all that really, and it was just trying to. I think the idea of the music video was just to show us having fun, and performing the song, and because that's at the end of the day, that's what the song's about. It's about having fun and celebrating celebrating the joyful feelings of being young and being in love. So that for people to see us having fun in the video, hopefully they'll be able to get up and dance along with it.
And will there be any other music videos in similar vein to this one?
Like I said, I feel like there's probably going to be other. There definitely will be other videos like for other songs from the album. I don't know what type of themes we'll be covering, but I think there are other like band-based songs that will probably require that, and it's been a pleasure to work with B-side recordings, and they've really this is probably the first ever professionally shot video I've ever done. The closest was without you, but this is like properly professional, so I look forward to doing much more videos like this.
Do you reckon there's any more follow-ups after this album, or is that kind of on a hush-hush at the minute?
Well, let me put it this way. I can't say when it will be, but I'm definitely not going to stop, because this is what I love to do. inspiration hits you before, like hits you like lightning. You never know when it's going to come. But that is until when you start working for a professional label and they start putting the pressure on you to get a song done in a week, and then in which case there is pressure because you either get a bunch of songs done by the end of the week or you lose your job. And thus concludes this. I'm going home.
On behalf of the band and myself, I'd like to say thank you for watching, and I hope we pass the audition.
And that's alright!